Hey guys, my name's Jeremy Vest. I'm 41 and I still skateboard every day. I've been skating since 1986, and I know a lot of you guys watching weren't even born then. I lived in Germany, my dad was in the Air Force, and there was a skate park like literally next to my little house on base. So I started skating, I saw the kids and I was like, whoa, that looks so amazing, I gotta try that. I think I was in second or third grade when I first started skateboarding. Since 1986, I probably had a total of 20-year break. I actually had a motorcycle accident about 9 years ago and I was out for a long time, probably 5 or 6 years. I was stopped at a red light on my motorcycle like almost 10 years ago, and a guy just ran the red light and ran me over. I flipped up in the air, landed on my feet, and he crushed my spine. I have a big plate like this big in my spine, 7 screws. And I tried the traditional routes of physical therapy and working out, and honestly, it just really wasn't working for me. It wasn't motivating me. I didn't like going to the gym. I didn't like being on a treadmill or doing weights. So one day I got frustrated working out. There was some mean moms just like not happy that I wasn't able to keep up with them, you know, even though I had spine surgeries. And I was like, forget it. So it was like 6 in the morning. I grabbed my board, went to the park, and I didn't tell my wife. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll around and see what happens. So in about 3 years, I've lost over 50 pounds. And I actually used to have to walk with a cane because my core just was destroyed by all the surgeries. So the skateboarding, you know, moving and stuff all the time, that really got my core back, and I was able to, I don't use a cane anymore. It's pretty amazing. Who would have thought that a motorcycle accident would have led me into a new path of skateboarding? You know, it's pretty crazy. But here I am, old, broke down, and I'm having a blast. A lot of people, especially my age, talk about the glory days. They talk about what they could do when they were younger. To be completely honest with you, I'm a million times better now than I was when I was a kid. There's no way I could do a quarter of the crap I'm doing as a kid that I do now. I push myself way harder. I do crazier tricks, and I fall harder. Whoa! Whoa! So when I was a kid, I would break a bone or twist an ankle or whatever, and you know, I'd be back skating again in 3 or 4 weeks. Now, as an old man, it hurts. You know, I have to do all kinds of things to keep myself going. I have to ice, you know, take warm baths and things like that to really just make sure my muscles are okay. I have to take breaks in between hard skateboard sessions. So I'm about to be in a tournament or a contest here in a few minutes, and I'll probably have to take 2 or 3 days off skating after this, just because I know my muscles and my body are just gonna be destroyed. When I got back into skating, I wanted to street skate, but man, that hurts. You know, like falling on a rail or a curb, hitting my spine on a curb, it really hurts. It's weird to think, but transition, even a 10-foot bowl, is easier on your body, especially if you're wearing pads, than any street course. So I would say that it's very rare you see an old dude skating street. You see an old dude skating transition anytime you go to a skate park. But how many times have you seen an old dude skating street? It's just because our bodies, most of us can't handle it. Man, if I'm lucky, I can see myself skating probably till my mid-50s. I'm 41, so I'm personally giving myself another 14 or 15 years. When I skate in California, I'll be skating out there in a few weeks. I see guys in their 60s skating all the time. They're just more rolling around or being on transition. So I could see there's a pro I know in Dallas that's like 54, you know, so I could keep on seeing myself pushing around, but I would say the technical crazy tricks I do, probably be slowing down pretty quick on that. You know, I don't know what, a lot of people just live their glory days. I'm looking forward every day. I'm pushing forward every day, and I want to get that new trick as much as I did when I was a little kid. I think the reason that I push myself so hard now as an old guy versus a young guy is I'm just a little more mature. And to me, it's kind of like playing chess or something. You know, it's very mental. Landing a hard trick is way more mental than physical. So I think it's just kind of a fun challenge. It's like a fun game for me. And it just pushes me. I can tell you, like someone told me one time, if my hair's not trimmed, I'm not right with God. And I was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And basically he was saying that if he doesn't have everything like trimmed up and everything good, he's probably just not a good place mentally. And I feel the same way. I feel like the better I skate, the better I'm gonna be at being a dad and being, you know, an employee and being a business owner, because it's just, I think you need the mental, physical, and spiritual to really have an awesome life. And skateboarding's physical for me, and it's also mental. And it gives me breaks in between the hardcore life I have with family and work, and it just lets me de-stress. I've always been a really shy guy, even though I speak all over the country, believe it or not. And skateboarding just gives me some type of confidence that I didn't have 3 or 4 years ago. It just makes me know I can do things. It takes the stress off of life, and it's definitely something that pushes me forward. If you skated when you were a kid or you've always wanted to skate, what I would say is pick up a board. However, you really need to start with pads. They're not cool, they're not fun, but if your wrists are your money makers, if you're on a computer all day, wear some wrist guards, you know? If you are responsible for a family, wear a helmet. Now, as you get a little better, maybe you can strip off some of the pads here and there, but I mean, if your biggest fear is not being able to work, wear pads. It's gonna help you a lot. Personally, I wear 187s. Between 187s and Protex, there's just not a lot of options out there anymore like there used to be. You know, you're not a kid anymore, and I think pads are a lot more important. I see the guys out here that are skating in their 50s, and every one of them that are skating that old, they all wear pads, every one of them. I don't see any 50-year-olds not rocking pads. So if you're thinking about getting back into skateboarding and you happen to be old, I recommend getting on some pads, rolling around, taking it easy, and see what happens. Don't be afraid to get out there, making a positive influence on these crazy kids out in the park that need some positive influence in their lives. Make sure you like this video and subscribe, and get out there and keep on pushing.